Oh, I hope you're all having just a lovely day, a lovely time. It is Saturday right now, and we are having just like the loveliest, fluffiest snow coming down right now, and it's making me so happy. So I thought I would take you all with me to my local little neighborhood, what are they called? Little free libraries that's in someone's front yard, because I have a few books that I would like to donate today, and then maybe see if there's anything there. I haven't been there in quite a while, so I'm excited to see what's there, but this neighborhood one is just so cute, so I'd love to share that with you all. But I also want to share what I was getting rid of. I just realized you can see me back there. Hi! So I will be donating The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo. I read this in January. I listened to the audiobook. I only opened this to look at some photos, and then I'm just like, okay. So passing it on to somebody else now. I'm also getting rid of this book, which is Dear Emma by Katie Heaney. I thrifted this a long time ago, and it's just been sitting on my shelf, and I have tried to start it so many times where I've picked it up, and the writing just does not work for me. It just, I don't know. Let's go ahead and get suited up and take these over to the little free library. Anticipating that. But these seem really awesome. It is quite cold though, so I'm gonna bring these inside, get some hot coffee, and tell you about these books that I just found. There's nothing better than being out in the cold, coming into a warm house, and it smells like coffee. What a great morning! Oh, I've got a cat trying to get in my sweater. I'm just so happy. I'm just so blissed out. I've got my hot coffee here, which is actually a creme brulee flavored coffee with my like almond milk creamer, but it's caramel flavored. Mwah. Oh my gosh, it's so sweet and like roasted nutty. Oh my gosh, I'm sending you all a smell. But okay, let's chat about the books that I just found. So I did get 3, which I'm sure you saw, but I feel pretty bad because I only donated 2. So next time I have another book to donate, I'll definitely be dropping that off there to balance what I took. But the first book that I found is this one called The English Garden. I just love this cover so much. Centuries of botanical delight come to life in 4 romantic novellas. Oh, is this a religious book? I will look up some reviews. I will let you know what it says. Okay, friends, so just now, little update. I did look up The English Garden, and it is Christian fiction. As much as the story intrigues me, and I really liked the idea of centuries of botanical delight, I don't think I'm going to resonate with this book. I'm just going to donate it back. This is no shade or harshness or judgment toward people who read Christian fiction. I just know that I'm not the intended audience for this, and I think that other people, especially in my neighborhood, would enjoy this a lot more than I would. I did want to give it a chance, so I read the first 3 pages, and it's just something that I'm not going to be able to resonate with, which really bums me out though, because I did really like the setting, and this cover is still stunning. But yeah, I absolutely want to give this back to the community and have someone else pick it up. So I will go ahead and put this back to drop it off sometime later this week. Okay, well, moving on. I'm really surprised I picked this one up, honestly, and that is The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. This is huge. This is heavy, it's thick, and I really like how big it is. I have not read a really, really big book like this. Oh my gosh. It's 876 pages. And look at that font. That's tiny. Oh my gosh, but it's floppy. Yeah, so, okay, this is the Legend of King Arthur, but told through women's perspective. I honestly don't know anything about King Arthur. I feel like every time it's mentioned, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. The Knights of the Round Table, is that even a part of King Arthur? Like, I don't even know. I feel like I was just never taught that. It was never a part of my, like, reading or history or legend curriculum. I don't even know what it is. Like, is it real? Was he a real guy? Was he not? Was this fake? Is this made up? I don't know. But this really intrigues me just because it is a feminist perspective of it. It's through the female lens, which is something that I can definitely get into. I don't know why all of a sudden this intrigued me. This is something I would never, ever, ever would have ever picked up. But right now it just, I don't know, it seems very like wintry, seems very magical, kind of a vibe right now. The Mists of Avalon sheds new light on old characters, especially Morgan of the Fairies, Merlin, Lancelot, and Guinevere, an epic novel of violence, lust, painful loyalties, and haunting enchantments. I'm kind of excited. Yeah, this is like 900 pages almost. And I love how floppy it is. I'm a sucker for floppy paperbacks, so there's that one. The last book that I found, oh my gosh, this one is so intriguing to me, and it is A Bird in the Hand by Anne Cleves. This is a mystery novel following bird watchers. On the front it says, bird watchers are all of a feather, but now one of them has turned killer. Yes! Sounds so beautiful. So it's in England's bird watching paradise, a new breed has been sighted. A murderer. I need my coffee. This is so delicious. Like, this is so atmospheric. Here we go. Young Tom French was found dead, lying in a marsh on the Norfolk coast, with his head bashed in and his binoculars still around his neck. One of the best birders in England, Tom had put the village of Rushy on the birdwatching map. Everyone liked him. Or did they? I just feel like, I love this cover first off. There's something about, yeah, birds and this crimson color. It's just really speaking to me. It's really, I just feel like it's gonna be a really quick read. It's only 215 pages, and if it's a mystery and it's in this setting and probably gonna be fast paced about like this big actual mystery, I am intrigued. Count me in. I would love to read this. This seems so up my alley. But hopefully it's well written. We'll see. I just love finding quirky little finds like this. Yeah, this one was published in 1986, and then The Mists of Avalon. Maybe this would be a nice book to read like next winter, Mists of Avalon, because it's so chunky. It would probably take all of winter. Copyright was 1982. That'd be kind of a fun one, right? Next winter. Can I make that a goal for myself already? Like, I know it's winter right now. I could just start it, but I'm kind of on a roll with things. Speaking of which, let's check in about some reading updates. I've been rambling for so long about these new books. So I took some footage 2 days ago. So I wanted to start my reading vlog then because I was so into the Rose Variations by Marisha Chamberlain. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. You gotta come in. You want to smell the coffee? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was so into the Rose Variations by Marisha Chamberlain. I think I had like 150 pages left on Thursday. I honestly can't remember where it was, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna finish it and then I'll start my reading vlog a little earlier in the week. I wanted to start it on Thursday and then show myself like finishing it. That didn't end up happening though, because Thursday night I barely read. I fell asleep so fast at night and my evening didn't really go as planned. And then Friday evening, which was yesterday, I just stayed up so late last night finishing this. So I am done with the Rose Variations by Marisha Chamberlain. Again, this is an ARC copy that I found at a thrift store. It's my first ever like cozy thrifting reading vlog, which I will link down below for you all as well. Marisha Chamberlain's writing style reminded me so much of Donna Tartt, and last year in 2020 I read both The Goldfinch and The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and while I really enjoyed the writing style and the atmosphere, the plots didn't really make me feel anything. Like, I kind of just really didn't care about the characters. They didn't really stick with me. It's more of just like the story is memorable. But Marisha Chamberlain, so her writing style felt very similar, as well as just like what the book was, which is like this giant slice of life from one person, which is Rose. It starts off in the 1970s. She's a composer, a musician, a cellist, as well as a new professor. So she goes to this small arts college in Minnesota, moves there, is the first and only like female composer and professor in the music department. And this book literally just catalogs her life starting from that point up until basically when she's kind of working for tenure at this university. It has just such collegiate vibes. It has just this like young woman fumbling around, not knowing what her life is and who she should be. She's falling in and out of relationships and friendships and family issues, and it just catalogs this life. And it's not, I don't want to say it's like a slice of life, it's like a whole half of a pie life. The details in this were just so rich, and I absolutely loved that. I loved that they were rich. I loved the amount of detail that went into this book and the rawness and realness. Towards the end though, I was getting really frustrated with our protagonist Rose. I was getting so frustrated with her decisions. I was frustrated with the circumstances she was in. I kind of wanted the book to end because I was like, oh my gosh, like here we go. Like, get your shit together, honey. Like, come on. But I think overall that's just like a really big message for a lot of what we do in life, and a lot of like, we can't control other people and we think we're making the best decisions, but in someone else's eyes we're like, what are you doing? Like, you're such a wonderful person. Like, why are you self-sabotaging yourself like this? So I would definitely recommend this for people who are fans of slow burn, detailed character development stories, as well as kind of like Donna Tartt academic collegiate kind of vibes. I really liked it. I thought it was so enjoyable. There were definitely some really uncomfortable sex scenes in here, so please just be aware of that. So trigger warnings for that. But yeah, I finished this last night, and then I did my random genre generator, my trusty generator, and it landed on contemporary, and I was kind of upset, not gonna lie, because I was like, I just finished a literary fiction. I so desperately want something light and fluffy right now. Like, so much of what I've read in the month of February has been beautiful, but really intense in terms of the topics that are discussed. They're really dense in terms of like, yeah, characters and stories are just thick. And I really want fluff right now. I want fluff so bad. So I scoured the shelves last night with my little book light. In the middle of the night, it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, I gotta find my next book. And I picked up the Vagina Monologues by Eve Ensler. I think this definitely works for contemporary because, I mean, it's everywhere. Everyone has heard of this. It actually came up in my 21 books that I need to read in 2021, which was made by a random generator, which I will link again below. Wow, look at all these links. So much content. At a used book sale a few years ago, oh my gosh, so yeah, 2016 or 2017, maybe somewhere in there, I thrifted a copy of Eve Ensler's memoir. I really thoroughly enjoyed her memoir. I really did. I thought it was just so incredible, and I never put two and two together that Eve Ensler was Vagina Monologues Eve Ensler. So I started this last night, and I'm on page 45. It is an absolute like fly through, just because the pages, one, they're really spaced out. Two, some of them look like this. So you have just really long, almost like lists. So my goal today is actually to finish this morning. I would love to finish this. It's such an easy read, and then I would love to pick another book with you all. Let's read. Wow. Okay, friends, it's been about 40 minutes since I last updated you all. I finished reading the Vagina Monologues. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved this book. I would love to see it live and performed, but oh my gosh, I have not, wow. Okay, it was so poetic and raw, beautiful. There was a story in here that made me really emotional. I started getting a little watery just because of the violence against women. That's just always been a thing. And it just makes me so angry and so sad and emotional. Like, yeah, it's really hard to read. But the wonderful things in here were just so wonderful. It made me just feel so like hopeful. And for the first time in a really long time, I feel grateful to be a woman. I don't want to get too like deep and reflective, I guess, on it, but I really struggle with being a woman in terms of like just feeling so ashamed of my body, feeling so frustrated with my body, it's not right, feeling pressure to be attractive, but then also feeling so much fear when I leave my house, like feeling just so much anger when, you know, I'm in a toque and a mask and a big winter coat and I'm still getting catcalled when I walk anywhere around my neighborhood, and it's frustrating. So this book really gave me like hope for being a woman. But if you've read the Vagina Monologues or you've seen the like performance of it, I would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I absolutely loved this book. Okay, so on my Wheel of Names, which is a website, I'm using a genre generator. We only have 6 genres left. So when I finish these 6 books, I am going to start using a color wheel, which I'm really excited about. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. But let's tap to spin. I don't wanna look. I don't wanna look. A thriller! Let's go over to my bookshelf. We'll do our fun thing of picking out books, but yeah, we need a thriller. Okay, so I actually only have 2 thrillers on my shelf. The first option we have is Any Man by Amber Chamberlain. This is a book that I'm actually really excited to read, and it's about a serial rapist who's actually a woman and her victims are men. So this one definitely has been on my list. I really want to read it. Seems like actually a pretty quick book as well because it's a little bit of like mixed media. So that is an option, kind of leaning towards this one at the moment. We also have this one, which I also picked up very recently, called Burning Blue by Paul Griffin. So this is another one that's like, it's like a YA thriller. How do you all pick books that you're gonna read next? Like, do you do this where you just read the first few little sentences? I think I am going to read Any Man by Amber Chamberlain first. So that is my thriller pick. Yeah, looking forward to that one. Well, friends, this is me post-shower. This is this is what I look like. Hi. I thought for a while, like my first few videos here on YouTube, I did not show my real face without any makeup. I was like, yeah, I'll just like go through the extra effort and actually put on makeup for YouTube. Like, why not? And I'm like, you know what? I just, because of quarantine, like now I just really don't care. And you might notice a lot of my acne in these videos. I'm cool with it now. I kind of really don't care. But yeah, I'm out of the shower. I am in my giant, this is called a Huggle. It's a Snuggie with a hood. So it is still snowing so much right now, and I realize I kind of just didn't even tell you guys what I'm doing today. So yeah, took a shower, I did some dishes, I just finished editing a gallery for one of my clients, so those are exporting right now. I edited some videos, and now I am anxiously, I'm looking out the window here, waiting for my partner to arrive with dinner. I'm so hungry, I'm ready to eat, and we're gonna binge watch some Heroes tonight. Yeah, so he introduced me to Heroes very recently. We're still in the first season, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm really loving it. I didn't think I would like it, but I really like it. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I love Hero and Ando, so it's great. I'm having a great time with it. Yeah, and then tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and my partner and I have a tradition of getting some Indian food from this awesome local restaurant every Valentine's Day, and I just want some freaking naan and some chai tea. It's gonna be great. So that is the plan. Tomorrow I'm also hoping, I don't want to say this because what if it doesn't happen and then it's just like embarrassing, you know what I'm saying? But there's a really cool exhibit at our local like public museum that I would really love to go to because it's all about the, I think it's called like Under the Permafrost or something. It's all about what's underneath the Arctic ice. And I think that's so interesting, like fossils and stuff. So I would love to go to that tomorrow if the museum's open on Sundays. But I think that would be really fun to get Indian food and then go to the museum for Valentine's Day. That just sounds like fantastic. Oh my God, there's a hawk. Oh my God. There was just a massive hawk chasing after a little bird. I don't like it. I've never seen a hawk in this area. I live in kind of like an industrial area, so that was bizarre. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so tomorrow's Valentine's Day. That's what I would like to do is Indian food and museum and then cuddle up and watch more Heroes. I would love to watch more Heroes. Then I'm going to be kind of continuing this vlog, I think, until like Monday or Tuesday. I don't really have much going on those days. I would love to, you know, find time just to like run to one thrift store this weekend, just because I've been drinking a lot of tea lately and I don't even own, don't make fun of me, a kettle or anything. Like I have no way of heating up my water other than in the microwave. And I would like to get a tea kettle, and it'd be really cool to find a fun, funky one from like a thrift store. So we shall see. I don't know. But yeah, it's still snowing a lot right now. It's really beautiful, and I'm just waiting for my dinner to arrive. And my boyfriend. It's fine. Mainly my dinner. Okay. So it is actually 2 a.m. right now. I'm not tired, which is kind of frustrating, but because I can't sleep, I was able to finish Any Man. Wow, I gave this book 4 stars on Goodreads just now, but it's definitely like a 4.5, like 4.75. Definitely trigger warnings. I would love to chat more about it in the morning. But Amber Tamblyn has such a way with words and with characters. Like, she wrote from so many different perspectives, and I could hear each character's voice in my head. She just writes such realistic dialogue, and I really want to find more works from her because I'm completely blown away. This was so eerie and uncomfortable and thrilling, and just really heartbreaking and frustrating, and very poetic at the same time. This was just such a fascinating read, and I really enjoyed it. I am honestly baffled that I've now finished 3 books in 2 days. I'm on a roll right now, and I don't think I'm mentally okay. I need to sleep. But I did just do my random genre generator, and it just still doesn't want to give me like fluff. It landed on mystery. I will be starting Death in St. Petersburg this morning. I was gonna say, oh god. This is the book that I thrifted pretty recently, and it takes place in St. Petersburg in the snow in, what's the year? I'm not sure what the year is, but it's a part of a detective series of this woman called the Lady Emily Mystery Series. So it's like historical fiction mystery. The plot is that there's a ballerina is slain and is in the snow outside the ballet. This one just kind of seems like really good winter vibes. I really hope this book will put me to sleep though. So it begins St. Petersburg, January 1900, chapter 1. From a distance, the crimson spray coloring the snow looked more like scattered rose petals than evidence of a grisly murder. Ooh. We're just like, we're there. First sentence, it's a murder. It's there, it's happening. That's my check-in. Please hope and cross your fingers for me that I can get some sleep.
My dance make it hurt.
Why didn't I set up that time lapse in this spot? You can actually see Omi's face. I'm a goof. Oh. It has been such a chill day, and I'm really struggling with like feelings of guilt that I should have been a little bit more productive and planned something extra for today. But honestly, I've kind of done a whole lot of nothing, which has felt really nice, but I wanted to share with you all some of the strange, peculiar little oddities. So I ended up spending like 2.5 hours in this giant estate sale warehouse. I really wanted to take my time and really scour because it's a place that like it's so cluttered that you can easily overlook something. Let's start with what I got yesterday, which is Window on the Seine by Frances Y. McHugh. This was in a section of the estate sale warehouse that was like 50 cents per book. So I was like, oh yeah, I like this. I like how big it is. Again, it's a floppy paperback. And what really intrigued me was this print size. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like massive. It's huge. This came out and was published in 1969. And it says on the back, it was 1869. In the luxurious yet forbidding looking house on the Seine where Anna took up residence, strange apparitions, violent tremors, and undercurrents of political intrigue made her fear for her life. So I was like, what is this? Like, I'm so excited to read it because I'm like, that sounds eerie and weird. I did end up looking it up on Goodreads, and it has only 2 reviews, and both are 2 stars. So that did not deter me from spending half a dollar on it. I love finding books like this where it's like so underground and like, what is it? I don't know. But yeah, that's Window on the Seine. So there was a book specifically that the reason I went back to the estate sale warehouse was because I regretted not getting this copy. I checked on Goodreads and it's not even listed on there. So I was like really intrigued as to what this was, and I don't know, I like kind of, they're almost like the underdog gems of bookstores when you find something like Window on the Seine, or this next one I'm about to share with you all. Like, it just feels like, I don't know, it's such a heartwarming feeling for me where it's like this book was discarded and it needs a new loving home, and like, let me pay attention to you kind of thing. I don't know. Anyone else? This is the book that I ended up picking up, which is The Lamp in the Spine. I absolutely love this cover so much. It's like a potato in a jar that's starting to sprout. So I honestly need to look into this a little bit more. So it says in here that The Lamp in the Spine is published 3 times a year from a P.O. box in Minnesota. Subscriptions are $3 a year and single copies are $1. Oh wow. Okay, so this came out in the spring of 1973 and this is copy number 6. I wonder how many were published then, if this is only copy number 6. So let's take a peek here. We have all of these are different authors. I just thought this was such a cool, quirky, weird find. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it just really intrigued me. I don't know why. It smells so old. It's really nice. So we have one book from 1969 and one from 1973. So I'm really excited to dig into these. This one seems like such a cool variety of authors as well. I'm really excited. Then the last book that I wanted to share with you all that I picked up today, this was kind of like a last minute, like, oh, I actually picked up Matilda by Roald Dahl. I have actually never read this book, and don't hate me, but I've also never seen the movie Matilda. I've seen snippets. I know what it's like about, but I've never seen it and I've never read it. I'm excited. So there's Matilda. Okay, friends, so you know me, I have to get some tacky wall art and decor while I'm there. This one, I love it so much, but it really reminds me of like my high school like drama teacher's classroom where, you know, there's like that really weird print of a fake scene in like Shakespeare, but it's like just a desk. You'll know what I mean. But like this is that, but just like nicely framed. Oh my gosh, yes! We got this green. Also, this is solid. Like this isn't painted. It's like a photo that's been printed on plastic? Wood? I don't even know. But we have this gorgeously rich green background, these cool vintage lamps. We have all these old books, a quill, a hand, and these notes. I don't know what it is about this, but I was like, I really like it. The last thing that I got was a lovely teapot. Oh wait, there we go. I have never owned a teapot in my life. And I'm excited. I honestly spent way too long trying to find a cute teapot. I really wanted something that was like a little bit more charming and different and colorful and I don't know, color. I wanted color, but alas, that did not happen. I do like this shape, like it's kind of like short and squat. So I'm going to clean this bad boy out because who knows how long it's been in that shop. It was so musty in there. And clean it out and make some hot water for some tea today. Just finished my workout a little bit ago. I did some aerobics, did a half hour, so I'm feeling good, feeling nice and productive. Got my nice cup of coffee here. My mom actually painted this mug, so it's very cute. Last night, my partner and I decided to pick up The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy, and we finished it. It was fantastic. If you don't know, this is a gorgeous, like, illustrated, poetic, kind of like motivational quotes, but just like so emotionally dense kind of quotes. It's so sentimental and poignant. I think this has so many like little one-liners that we all need to hear more of, I think. Like, it's okay to be yourself, it's okay to feel. The most important thing you could ever ask for is help. So this has been on my nightstand since Christmas. My partner and I decided we wanted to read it together before bed. So last night I was like, hey, can we please just finish this tonight? So we did, and I'm glad we did. There were definitely a lot of pieces in here that felt really like, huh, I needed to hear that. So I think this is just a wonderful thing to kind of return to every now and then, maybe even just like flip to random pages. But I'm excited and happy that I have a copy. I would love to see what else Charlie Mackesy does in the future. So that is what I did last night. Now I've got my coffee, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on an ambient video and read a little bit more of Death in St. Petersburg before getting ready for the day and getting dressed and pretty and filming some videos today. So cheers, my friends. So I just took a little break from reading because I hit my goal for this morning, which was to get halfway through Death of St. Petersburg. So I am a little over the halfway mark now, and I wanted to give some updates because the beginning of this reading vlog, I was flying through books so quickly, I didn't really have a chance to like talk about the plot or my actual thoughts while reading them, because it was kind of like, I'm starting it, here's a montage of me reading it, I finished it. So I thought this would be a good time to kind of let you all know what's happening, my actual thoughts on it. I showed a clip, I've been using Mind Daisies, which is Books with Leo's Read With Me video, which is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I will link it down below, so please go watch it, support her. She's one of my favorite booktubers. Her videos are just so aesthetic and lovely, and I love them so much. Hers is like a half-hour long read with me, which I think is perfect. So I did a half hour, then I was like making some lunch. I just scarfed some avocado toast. I'm on my second mug of coffee here, and now I need a little something sweet. So let's peel this mandarin while we chit chat. So as I mentioned, Death in St. Petersburg is number 12 of a series called the Lady Emily Mystery Series. I am not a series reader. This is a book that I thrifted, and I knew it was a series going into it, but based on the reviews, it seemed like I could just kind of hop in. So I hopped in. But my thing here is I've done this a few times where I thrift or I find books that are in a series, and I'm just like, oh, it's fine. I'll read it anyway. Because they're cozy mysteries. I don't know if any of you have read cozy mysteries, but I continuously think it's going to be something that I will adore, that I will love, that it'll be like so comforting and wonderful to read, and I hate them every time. Here's why. I am going to be a little mean here for a second, but the writers of the cozy mysteries that I have personally read are so pretentious. They are so pretentious. They're usually like middle-aged white women who know everything about classic literature, make references to classic literature like, you know, it's nobody's business. Main character, the detective, who is always very prim and proper, always has a maid, lives this like luxurious lifestyle, and is like the smartest one in the room at all times. Like, I feel like these authors are trying so desperately. This is like their characters are their alter ego. It's like when I read it, it's like I know what you're doing. Like I can feel it through the book, that's how I'm feeling about this author as well, Tasha Alexander. She writes the weirdest lines about this Lady Emily character. So we don't get into Lady Emily's head at all, of like her personality, who she is, what she's thinking. It's mainly like her pretentiousness. This book is written in her perspective, and she's like describing this, if I'm correct, it's like a stained glass window that has all of these Greek gods on it. So she's describing like, oh, Zeus and Apollo and Persephone and all this stuff, whatever, are on the stained glass window. And she's like, now you may be asking yourself why I didn't name them in the Roman names, because this room was supposed to be like inspired by Pompeii. She was like, but I hope you do forgive me. And I'm like, shut up. And then it says too, like, she's, you know, she's a detective, so she's like waiting for a perpetrator to come into a room, and she's like, I counted in Greek until 100 until I left. And I'm like, shut up, we get it, you know Greek. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. This book leaves a lot of Russian words just italicized. We're never given the like actual definition of what the word is. Tasha just made a author's choice to not interpret or define words in here. It just feels like blatant like gatekeeping. Like, oh, you don't know what that word is? Like, I'm just, and it's more difficult to assume what the word actually is. There's so many examples in here. Oh yeah, here's it. You have never had a banya, have you, Monsieur Hargraves? And I'm like, what's banya? We Russians love the feeling of cold air against hot skin. I'm like, so what's a banya? You gonna help me at all here? I hate when it's just like, I'm gonna make something so uncomfortably inaccessible to you. Suffice to say, the only thing that's making me enjoy this book though is the mystery itself. To get into the nitty-gritty of the story, basically, Lady Emily, and I'm like, why is she a lady? Like, what did she do? They're traveling in St. Petersburg. They go to the famous Mariinsky Theater to see the performance and debut of Swan Lake. When they leave the theater, the prima ballerina has been slain, is dead in the snow, and it just kind of immediately jumps into action from there. What I do love about it though is it does talk a lot about Russian culture, about how prized prima ballerinas are, how well paid they were, how exclusive and important the Mariinsky Theater is to Russian culture. It's definitely something I want to learn more about, and I'm definitely, as soon as I finish this, I would love to watch some documentaries about the Mariinsky Theater or watch some performances. I'm just really fascinated by the culture itself, and yeah, ballet. It's such a gorgeous art form that has such a long and rich history. Lady Emily then just kind of becomes involved. She befriends this prince? Question mark? Why? I don't know. And the prince had a love affair with the prima ballerina who is now dead. So he enlists Lady Emily for her detective skills to track down the murderer outside of the police. Next thing we know, there is another ballerina who is dressing up as the dead ballerina and just appears in public on like balconies, on bridges, on like in a cemetery, and just shows up and starts dancing until a bunch of people are freaking out and they're like, oh my god, and they're calling her by the dead ballerina's name. So they think it's a ghost, they think it's an apparition of this dead ballerina. But they're basically proving like, no, it's a real woman. So we're trying to figure out that as well, like who is doing this. There are quite a few red herrings already, so I am very curious to see who done it. That's the only thing that's really keeping me from not necessarily DNFing this book. I don't think I would. I think regardless, I would power through. I just really hate Lady Emily. I don't see any redeeming qualities in her. I don't get why we want to root for her, other than like she's working against a murderer, so I don't know. Well, I finished it. And I hated it. I hated it. Hate is such a strong word, but by the end, I was laughing out loud. I was rolling my eyes. The last, like, the murder mystery was resolved. and there was like 15 pages left, or maybe even just like 10, and I was just like skimming because I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I was so frustrated. There's actually a line in here that just felt so much like Scooby-Doo. I don't like it. I don't like it. It was so it was so uncomfortable. I gave this 2 stars on Goodreads. I might have to wait a little bit before I want to give a review and explain myself as to why I didn't like it, but also I feel bad because I kind of knew going into it that it might confuse me. I'm reading it out of order. I kind of have the cards against me a little bit. But I did not anticipate that ending, and like who done it was so frustrating. The fact that this protagonist and character, Lady Emily, just like gets away with so much crap and then is like considered a hero for it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I think this is garbage. I'm so sorry. So there's that book. I did do some research on some potential documentaries to watch tonight regarding the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg. I'm gonna watch that tonight. I'm really excited, get into some cozies. I might bake some more cookies and just kind of watch a cool documentary about it.
The Mariinsky, also known as the Kirov.
Okay, so I just finished watching the Sacred Stage documentary about the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg. I definitely learned a few things, especially about Russian history and culture, about the theater itself, the importance of ballet and opera was really interesting, as well as learning the staple pieces of art in the theater for Russians. So I found it interesting, but it definitely didn't have the amount of like depth and historical information that I would have liked. So I think I will kind of continue my journey of learning a little bit more about Russian history and culture in documentaries, I don't know, throughout the next few months. I'm really curious. So I do have to say, I think that's the one redeeming quality of Death in St. Petersburg, was being introduced to this history and culture that I didn't really know about. That being said, I think I'm gonna end the vlog, you all. I know. It has been like the coziest, one of my favorite and like best bookish weekends that I've had, I think, forever. It was just so great. I read like 5 books in 3 or 4 days, which is fantastic. I don't remember the last time I read that much. It's just been such an amazing weekend, and I'm just feeling so like fulfilled and happy, and I hope that some of those like cozy, happy vibes were sent over to you all and you could pick some of it up for your weekend as well. I hope that you all have a really lovely week. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching and being a part of this wonderful bookish weekend. I wish you all the absolute best. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye.